episode 63 with Team Sabotage and Grapplers versus Violence. Let's do it. Hello, folks. How are you? I'm still hungover from last night on episode 62. Evan English, how are you, man?
Doing good, pal. Good. Making out today.
Not bad, man. Another beautiful day here in the HRM of Halifax. Shout out to all our sponsors, and of course, shout out to everybody working on the front lines. I gotta say, I'm super happy. Opening up June 5th.
Nice. That's a relief. I'm sure everybody's excited about that announcement.
I hope so, man. You know, I know you guys were a little ahead of us in New Brunswick, but yeah, we're pretty excited about it. I know that. I know I am. Feels like I've been in like December for about 6 months, so it'll be nice.
Yeah,
anyway, man. Yeah, it definitely is. It was a beautiful day today. So obviously, first episode, today, episode 63, sponsored by our friends at Halifax e-Scooters, downtown Halifax. Make sure you get around with them this summer. Wear your helmet, use the app, cruise all around the city for a very, very cheap cost. It's a pretty cool way to see the city. Anyway, let's get into it, Evan. Our first guests, I guess we'll call them. It's a tag team. These two guys are all over the. We'll call it the circuit. They're the UCW tag team champions. Two guys who've been involved in wrestling a hell of a long time. Matt Connor and Justin Newhook. These guys, they're very well known in the wrestling circuit. I'm interested to talk to these guys about. You know, they're promoted, they've wrestled, they're in the midst of things, and who knows where their careers could really go. They're just on that cusp, and it's interesting to find out what's going to happen with wrestling, just like us in martial arts. What the hell is going to happen?
Yeah, very similar.
You know, so I guess without further ado, shall we? Let's bring them in.
Let's do it.
Team Sabotage. How are you, gentlemen?
How you doing?
Awesome.
Were we supposed to be on here or something?
Yeah.
How's things?
Not too bad. We just came back from we hit up the beach and we just came back and we just overheard you guys talking about June 5th and I just saw a post about it. I know nothing about it, but things are allowed to open up, or what's the ruling?
I guess so. Yeah, it's gyms are allowed to open, bars, restaurants, anything like that, as long as they're following social distance. You know, people like us, we're still kind of screwed because I don't know how you social distance in our kind of sports, right? But that's what I mean. But they say gyms, who knows what's going to happen? But that's supposedly the deal.
So are they working? Like, is it going to be like half capacity, or?
From what I see is, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody out there knows, but from what I actually see is you kind of make your own rules. You just have to follow the actual rules of social distance.
Yeah. I'm probably going to stay back for the first little bit.
Yeah. Each company basically like makes an operational plan, like how they're going to follow rules, what they're going to make their workers do, blah, blah, blah. And then I think as long as it falls into the social distancing rules per se, they're good to go. And I assume like the government will adjust those if they see them, going out of line or whatever you want to call it. But
yeah, it's pretty crazy shit. I want to bring someone in here. Obviously, Matt. You saw him before we went live here. He's a guy that you kind of grew up with, I guess, and he's a guy that I've trained a lot of jiu-jitsu with. He's a dear friend of mine. He also does the sound on our events. A man who's very close to us, a hell of a guy, Jason Delorey. How are you, pal?
Hey, fellas. Doing well.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Well, why don't you get started here, boys, and tell us, wrestling. It's all of us, it's whether it's Ric Flair or somebody. How you grow up idolizing people. Is that how you guys kind of get into the sport? Like, how did it start for you guys?
We started late, 27, 8.
Yeah, I was like 29 when I was finished training.
Yeah, like 27, 28, something like that, finished training. I grew up in a spot where I grew up in Newfoundland on the West Coast where there's no training for that. You can't do that. So it was never an option. So I kind of I guess I was like a realist in the sense of I can't do it. So why dream it? But then I came back from deployment for wrestling deployment for the Navy. Yeah. And we just me and my buddy, we had some money and we found out that there was a school, which is very rare at times around here, and just jumped on it and said, why not try it at least?
Yeah.
It worked out for a while, and then.
Well, I just came in like a year after he ended up was working with a company in Halifax or whatever, and I just sent off an email because I was into sound and stuff as well. I had a PA system, so I was offering that up as, because some of the sound system these guys were using for wrestling was just like
bad. We like production. We like things to look good.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Right. And then when we see like events like your guys' stuff and it's crisp, it's very nice and well put together, and it's just like that's the way it should be. Like I agree that the talent should be just as good as the production, but it shouldn't be just a screen or not. Sorry, it shouldn't just be like a curtain.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you got to start that way, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
you walk in and see a sheet on a door and like one speaker that's like looked like someone picked it a couple times. You're like, the wrestling's probably going to be questionable.
And that's the thing for you guys. Like that's what's so impressive for a fighter or jiu-jitsu or whatever. You're going in there, you have to compete. But you guys are going in there and you're competing. But there's also other things that are involved in it too, right? Like that's what I'm amazed at when you can go in there and you're like, oh shit, like there is only one speaker and like this is kind of a shoddy production, but you still go in there and you put on the best kind of show you can.
You kind of have to. When all else fails, if the production fails, then your match has to be,
better.
Make up that shit.
We've definitely worked on shows where we've walked in and just kind of look around and this is what you got.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if the fans aren't going to get their money's worth visually, then I guess we got to do it storytelling wise.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Jay, obviously you grew up. You're a little bit thicker into the wrestling than I was. Did you guys wrestle at all growing up?
Well, I wrestled for like school teams and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then a little bit of club wrestling, and then went to university and just got fat and out of shape, and
like everyone else.
University.
Yeah. So I'm so interested. Your move, Justin, is the hook shot. Can you explain that to me?
Do you know? Do you watch wrestling at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Do you know who Big E? Do you know who Big E is?
Yeah.
His move.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
It was when he was still doing training, and I was doing a couple singles matches, and I needed a finisher. I don't know. Like I grew up loving tag team wrestling as he did. So it was anytime I thought of finisher, it had to be tag team stuff. So now I got to think of a singles finisher, and someone just mentioned it to do it. And okay, it's safe, which I love being a safe wrestler.
Yeah.
I love being able to like, people can just, as soon as they go, oh, we're wrestling Justin or Connors or Sabotage, they go, oh, okay, cool. Like they know that we're not gonna, like no one's going to get hurt. Yeah. We're going to take care of them. We'll toss you around. We'll throw you around, but we know how to do it and we can take care of you safely. That's one of the safer ones. And I could do it. Like I can pick up a 250-pound guy on my shoulder. You know what I mean? I should be able to do it to a 300-pound guy. At one point before injuries and like
maybe before the quarantine.
Yeah, before quarantine, everything I could squat. I could squat like 365. So there was a point where I could pick a 300-pound guy on my shoulder and it looked believable. So just drop on my back and that's good to go. But yeah, that's the singles finish. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Ouch is right, man.
How was the crowd? Like, I've seen a couple of your matches, and you guys kind of are, I guess, teeter towards like the villain side of. So a lot of times you're production.
I'm gonna kick your ass after the show.
Oh, it's just being nice too. Like, I was kind of being a little bit
it was awesome,
I guess, but. I mean, you have to kind of, like Derek was saying before, it's not just wrestling and kind of performing. You have to have like that almost public speaking and interacting with the crowd and kind of that storyline behind it that, brings the entertainment to the table. Like when you're, calling out fans and kind of, either throwing up middle fingers or kind of, has there ever been like an interaction with the fans that's kind of gone a little too far, or maybe some comments that might be funny you have to go into super specifics, but maybe there's a story out there.
I'll go into super specifics. Huh?
All right,
I don't
even
care. I
better.
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So,
need this.
He's out.
so are we allowed to swear on this or?
Sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Okay, cool. So in the tag team and in real life, I'm the fucking asshole of the two. He's the nice guy, and everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And I've accepted that. That's fine. Like, I'm not a prick where people can't come up and talk to me, but yeah. So, there was one match where we did. It was a ladders match against the boys. At the end of it, there's an old man that just jaw jacks the shit out of us and everything, and he hates. You know where I'm going. Yeah. So he's jaw jacking us the whole time, and it's not getting to me. But I'm like, okay, I know I'm gonna. If I just keep looking at you and pissing you off, and you get angry, everyone else is gonna get angry.
Yeah.
So as the match is over and I sit, like, we grab our titles, there's a spot where you'll see me put the title on the ground and I like squat down for a second and I catch my breath to go, oh shit, okay, this is real. Then in my moment, it was during the summer and I was like, oh, I'm getting $1 Coke, like from McDonald's. Like, that was like my instant. We just beat the shit out of each other with ladders. And I was like, I'm getting $1 Coke. Like, hell yeah. But then the guy is yelling at me, calling us like every word, like calling us like,
he's getting pretty vulgar.
Yeah,
like,
getting vulgar and like using like things of like, calling us gay, but like other like words of that variety. Yeah, very derogatory stuff, which I don't stand for. And this will go to another spot with the same person afterwards. So I look at him and just look directly in his eyes and tell him to suck my cock. Just very deliberately stare directly in his eyes. And he loses his shit, tries to jump over the board, over the barrier. My girlfriend is a referee. She's got to like hold him back. I'm laughing. I'm like, I'm getting my $1 Coke now. I'm done. I'm getting my $1 fucking Coke. This is wicked. We go in the back. He's got like a huge scar. He's got to like get cleaned out. We're picking like tacks out of each other and shit. And it's just,
oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, it's, some fans get so involved, whether it's wrestling or it's comedy too. Like, I have a good buddy who's a comedian, and people, like, if you're a fan, I get it, like, that's part of it, but like there's a limit too. Like, you can't be calling like people derogatory names and that kind of stuff. Like, I hear a buddy of mine, he's a hockey fan, he's always blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, you don't play on the team at all. Like, so stop talking like you do. Like, have a little bit more respect. And yeah, it's weird, man. But I guess, I'm not that emotional, I guess, when it comes to a fan. But
there's like, I agree. Like if I go to a show, I can boo, I can cheer, I can call you a piece of shit. I can say, go back to whatever town you came from. Yeah. But when you start getting into like the derogatory and the racial and everything like that, it's just unrelated, like slander. Like, why are we going there? Like, that's not what we're here for. You're not going to be at I always say that we're like Impact Theater. So you're not going to go to a play and then boo one of the people on stage and call them I said, like different names that we don't need to get into. So I'll just really quick. So with the same dude, we were at a show, and this was maybe 2 years after. He's calling me a faggot, like all these things, and I'm just like, I'm not about it. Don't. So we support that community. We have friends in that community. We're not like, don't like that's don't. I don't. You can call me whatever you want, but like those names don't need to be. Yeah. You call me a piece of shit. Cool. I'm a piece of shit. That's cool. I'll run with that. That's cool. So he starts saying all this shit, and I kind of snap, and I kind of. It's during his match. He's like doing a singles match, which is very rare for us. The bell had just rung. I walk over to the guy, and he also called like Emily like trash or something. So I just walked over and grabbed his coffee mug or coffee cup out of his hand and like threw it across the room and like got right in his face and was like, if you're going to do something, fucking do it. Yeah. And of course, he's not going to do it, and I don't want them to. Like,
No.
I don't.
But you can't break character either, right? That's the thing. Like you
It's
can't.
hard, it's hard not to, but it's also like you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Why are you allowed in this building?
Yeah.
It's
Why are you
still
allowed to say these things?
still real life at the end of the day, right? Whether it's
Right?
a performance or not, people are humans, and there's
We're
no
still
need for words like that. That's for sure.
Like when I'm out there, I did it once, and then I was told afterwards why not to. I'll never call a fan fat.
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah.
I'll call you stupid
Yeah.
because you can go, "Oh, I'm not stupid." But if you look at a fan that is overweight and you call them fat,
You can't take that back.
you can't take that back, and then you know that
You're
they've
stuck
probably
with that.
dealt with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's been overweight, I've been overweight.
Yeah.
We've dealt with that.
At the end of the day, yeah, like it's people just have to realize that like it's sports, man. Like I say all the time, like it's entertainment, it's sports. Like if you want to talk like that, that's fine. Like if you work at the grocery store and you're packing groceries, I'm going to come there and I'm going to sit beside you and say, "Pack those quick, you asshole! Pack them quicker. You suck." Like. But at the end of the day, it should be really just respect the sport, respect the athletes. And that's cliche and whatever it is to say. It doesn't sell as many tickets sometimes, but. I'm a firm believer in that. Like
There's just a line.
There's a line. Yeah.
Interact with me as much as you want, but
That's
when
what we're there for.
But when you cross, like, there's only those like 3 or 4 things that don't cross the line going that way, and then we're good. But there's always the asshole, and it's unfortunately it's like most times it's always like the older generation.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah, they've been just there's quite a gap there for sure. So what's your goals with it? Like obviously you guys promote, you wrestle. Coming out of this whole quarantine, we're kind of in the same situation a little bit. What do you think the future holds for professional wrestling?
It's hard to say. You said that you mentioned like we promote. We don't actually like promote. We don't own our own company or anything like that.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
No, it's fine. We work very closely with somebody that owns their own company. No, well, yeah, he owns his own company as well. Yes, sorry, and we help with him. But North Pro, one of our guys, he owns it. So we've just been with him since like day one, since before he even thought of the company. So
he's been our mentor.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
but as for goals, like we were so.
2020 was the year.
Yeah, so the weekend that everything shut down on in the Maritimes, it was already shut down in Ontario and Quebec. Or no, they shut it down that weekend. We were supposed to face WWE signed contract people like Mustache Mountain twice in one weekend for different companies.
Wow. In
Ontario. So we were trusted enough to travel up from here to face these WWE guys, which it wasn't the fact that they were signed by WWE. It was the fact of the knowledge that they have. They know what they're doing, what we would have learned. And it just got taken right out from underneath us.
Yeah.
And it was just like
watching the date roll by, like sitting at home on the date, knowing that
I didn't watch wrestling for about a month and a half. I only just started watching wrestling again just because it sucked. It hurt.
Yeah, it does when you're motivated for something and you work so hard on something and then it just kind of gets taken away and there's no control. I guess it's frustrating. We had our second event planned too, and it sucks, man. And hopefully that will come back for you guys though. It's shout out to I want to give a shout out there to North Pro Wrestling though. I see your hat on there, Mr. Connor. So it's good advertising.
Like it was
who's your favorite, I guess, either past or current tag team? I know you got a little bit of that like Hart Foundation, maybe resemblance between the two of you, just from the maybe it's the goatee and then the long hair from the Bret Hart. But
I'm guessing Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys. Yeah, that's good. That's a good call too. Yeah.
You can take over from this, but all my comment is from any generation. There's tag teams from each generation that you could take.
It's a lot, man. It's hard to pick one because like we've been fans of tag team wrestling, like I said, from the beginning. So to try to pick one tag team and say like, oh, we've kind of mirrored our stuff off of that. It's like we got a little bit of the Brain Busters, a little bit of LOD, a little bit of Hardy Boys, a little bit of like whoever, it's like we take what works for us, what we like, what people react to, things like that, and we make it our own as best we can.
Because like we're both 6'2" and over 200 pounds. Well, depends on what time of the year it is for him, but I'm 245 pounds on most days. We're bigger guys, but we can move.
Absolutely.
Not saying I can't do 450s or nothing like that, but we're a bit more agile because we play sports all our lives.
Yeah.
So being able to move and be light on our feet
is super athletic. I mean, what you guys do is insane.
We got a comment here from my buddy Justin. He must have watched you. It's going to take up the whole damn screen, though. My MMA team and I bounced the local wrestling shows when they come our way. The first show gave me newfound respect for wrestling. First time I've seen someone go to the top rope straight on. Could not believe he jumped right back up inside the ring. Fake or not, you guys are some tussle. Oh, I don't like that word fake. And I'm sure you guys don't like it either. But whatever. I know what Justin's saying. It's what do you think of Dark Side of the Ring? Have you guys been following it?
I love it, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's hard to watch, really. Like it's hard to watch.
Well,
a lot of ups and downs there for sure.
I couldn't I've watched all of them besides what's the blonde dude? The slap one.
Oh, David Schultz.
David Schultz
one.
Slap her around the world.
Yeah, so I haven't watched that one yet just because I just haven't gotten around it, and I can't bring myself to watch the Owen one yet. So it's just one day I need to either catch myself in the mood to watch it because like I know he has, and he's just like
depressing shit, man.
It
definitely is. It's hard to watch, man, because like and I by no means Justin. I know he didn't mean like that. Like it's crazy, man. The athleticism and the shit that goes involved in this. Like for me, I do jujitsu, and you do a few takedowns. You're like, all right, I'm just gonna sit in the ground, right? Whatever. Like then you guys are getting thrown outside the cage and onto the ground. It's an incredible art too. No, I know, Justin. I'm just messing around with you. But yeah, when you watch you guys do it, you're so tight and like that's probably a term. I don't know if it is with you, but it is with like comedy or music or whatever. You're tight. You're working together and you're pretty seamless. And you watch you guys do it, and it's very you're high level wrestlers.
Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that. We like starting off doing this. I never thought I would leave like the Maritimes. Like there was a goal for us when we first started wrestling together to work for a company that we don't work for anymore in the Maritimes, but that was our goal. And now we've got companies that all the way to Toronto. Like,
wow,
they pay for like it sucks it's long travel, but like they pay for our travel to get out there, to drive out there. They pay for our gas and they put us up, and like those things. Never thought that would ever happen for me. Like,
yeah.
I'm from a town of. I was born in St. John's, but I grew up in a town of 20,000 people. Like he's from around here in Halifax. The shit doesn't happen.
It's still weird, right? And not only that, you followed your dreams and you made it, right? Like it's cool, man. It's a cool thing, and hopefully it'll continue going for you guys. And hopefully, I know Lincoln Steen. We're gonna get him on here Sunday. Lincoln Steen.
Yes,
he's a guy he's done some announcing for us in the past, and he's a hell of a guy.
He is a character and a half. He always gives me shit, and he loves the shit out of him. And then like he's just like I'm always that guy like trying to get his love and attention, be like, "Hey man, what's up?" And it's just like he's awesome.
Yeah, he is, man. He is. All right, guys. Well, we got to get on to our second guest. Before we let you go, where can everybody A, find you on social media and follow you guys, and B, quick advice for anybody who's in getting into the wrestling community? How can they kind of get to the level you guys are at?
Don't do it.
Yeah, true enough.
It depends on where you're living. If you're in a place that has a reputable school, just find a reputable school. Like if you try to slack on things, don't, because it's not going to work out in the end for anybody, and someone's going to get hurt, or God forbid someone will die. No one wants any of that. So be safe. You can find me on Instagram at Justin_Newhook_.
Sure.
Sure.
Semicolon. Why
We'll
not?
go with that. Same thing for Twitter and
I have a Twitter, but don't use it. So
say I don't use mine either.
But Instagram is Connors_M, and yeah, that's what I use most. Or you can find me on Facebook.
Justin_Newhook_. I was confident in that.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. Two fantastic wrestlers representing the Maritimes really well, and hopefully we can talk with you guys maybe down the line, and maybe we can do a wrestling podcast or something like that. You know, I think the sky's the limit working together. You know, they're close to the limit, so why not? And shout out
when all this changes and you get your events going on, we'll be there. If it's not the same night that we have a show, but most times it works. Most times it works out that you guys have a show and we have a show. So
yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do, and shout out to Steve Epple there at Top Rope Photography for connecting us. Really good guy there. So, all right, boys, lots of love to you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Best of luck, guys.
All right.
Later, fellas. Later, bro.
Awesome. Very cool. Jason, you want to stick around?
Yeah, buddy. Why not?
I think we can bring everybody in. We can fit up to 10 people in here. We call this a podcast orgy sometimes, but it's I guess there's just 3 of us and we're dudes.
We've gotten pretty close a couple times. So.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. Anyway, Evan, I saw that look. That wasn't a good look. All right, let's get into our second guest here, folks. Again, this episode is sponsored by Halifax e-Scooter. If you're ever in the Halifax area, check them out downtown on the waterfront. Sign into the app. Super easy. You can cruise all around the city for like $15. Very e-friendly, very safe, and a hell of a lot of fun. Check them out. Halifax e-Scooter. All right, so our second guest here, folks. These guys are guys that I have a lot of love for. Jason, you know them. I don't want to pronounce their last name, because I'm going to butcher it. I know I'm going to butcher it. So, you know what? I meant to do it today. Because sometimes I YouTube my guests' last names, and like it'll give you a pronunciation of how to pronounce it, and I forgot.
Oh.
Now I'm on the spot here. So anyway, long story short, these two guys are really, really sweethearts. Both grapplers, both really into the no-gi, both blue belts, I believe, probably close to getting to the next level, I believe. Grapplers versus Violence is the organization they started. They've had some tragedy in their family, and they're just both really, really sweet guys, man. You know, the people, those guys that you meet sometimes and you're just like, wow, that person motivates me just by looking at them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
They are. So they did this event. The first one, second one will come at some point. They're both busy working, but it will happen. I know it's going to happen. We'll find out. But it's Grapplers versus Violence, and they had a big roll-a-thon, and people from all over the Maritimes came and just kind of hung out, and they had sponsors provide lunch, and everybody donated money and trained together, and it was just a wonderful experience, and it brought everybody together for the goal of mental health, pretty much. And so I guess without further ado, let's bring them on. Andrew and Brandon Below. I don't know. Below. Hello, below. How are you, boys?
What's up, man?
Hey,
How are you guys doing?
How's things, man? Thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
How did I butcher that? How bad?
Pretty bad.
How
Good, man. It's a tough one.
How is it? Bolo? No.
Beaulieu.
Beaulieu. French.
Beaulieu is the English way of saying it. It's a lot easier for everybody.
Interesting. Okay. Well, you learn something every day. And shout out to your hat, too, there, Technacity, old Dan Vanderland's. I love that fella. Yeah, good guy. So I guess, like, break it down here, guys. Obviously, there was tragedy behind this, and I think both of you are super powerful. Like, you have an extremely powerful message that you share. And why not, if you don't mind, kind of getting into it, why you started Grapplers versus Violence and how it came about?
Basically, our family has a pretty deep history with mental health issues on my father's side, or on our father's side. Me personally, I've been affected by depression pretty badly, and jiu-jitsu was pretty much the only thing that eventually got me out of bed. And the more I trained, the more I realized there's something different here rather than just like exercise. I think like the social community of jiu-jitsu and just how friendly everybody is and welcoming. It was, I think it's really beneficial for your mental health. And so basically, like him and I, we had this idea where we wanted to like have this brand where we're just promoting like mental health and wellness. And yeah, I spoke to my dad on my way to Kingston when I was going away for corrections training, and he was gonna kind of talking to me about how to start a business and that it was a good idea and whatnot. So we just kind of started an Instagram page, started promoting a little bit. Like I said, we had that event, but you know, it was honestly the brand. It was kind of stagnant until we lost our father. He committed suicide November 2018. And after that, I think it really, I mean, obviously that's a huge motivator if you want to take a situation like that and try to make a positive out of it. I don't know. We're just kind of using that brand as a, you know what I mean? Just as a tool to kind of cope with that and spread the love and whatnot.
Yeah. How about Brandon? Anything to add? Or?
Yeah, Andrew came at me with the idea. I remember I was like working that day and he texted me and I read it and I was like, man, that's a wicked idea. Like I told him, I was like, man, I'm behind you 100%. Like wherever you want to go with this, let's do it.
Yeah.
So like he said, we didn't have a lot of stuff on the go before everything happened with Dad, but like you said, that was a motivator. So that happened in November. And then I believe it was March, we had our first event, Rolling for a Reason 1. And I don't remember, we had like 90 pounds of food that we donated to the food bank. And Andrew, correct me, how much did we raise? Was it 3, 5? I can't even remember. Like
I think it was 2,000 or 3,000 for sure. Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah. So we had an event in September on my birthday. And that one was a little smaller because the weather was a little nicer and people like were all off doing different things. So that's going to happen. But we definitely want to get something else in the works when these dark times passes by, when we go back to gathering together. But,
yeah, that's it, man. It's a weird time for all this, but you know, the money raised was so great. The message was greater. You know, the fact that Andrew, like, talking about things, man, you were one of the people that actually kind of helped motivate me to come out and talk about my situation more. Like for me to get up there in front of everybody that day, man, like I broke down crying. Like it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And because of you, man, and you guys doing that, so like there was a big, impact that you had on a lot of people, and I really think that it, you know, hopefully it continues when and if we get out of this situation. You know, it's just a super impactful statement and thing that you guys did, so you should be very proud of yourselves, guys. And yeah,
thank you, man. And it was really good to have others kind of share their story and whatnot like you did. And I think it's really important, man, especially like I feel like males, we have this weird like idea that we can't be emotional or we can't, you know what I mean? We can't express our feelings. Like that's really silly if you think about it. Like we're human just like anybody else. We deal with shit. Life is hard. Like, like keeping to yourself isn't going to make anything easier. It's going to probably lead you down a dark path. You know what I mean? And I found, I mean, myself, honestly, a lot of the time, I don't even like to talk about it. But I start to realize, like, when I'm not, you know what I mean? I start really declining in my mental health. And I think it's important to kind of keep the ones you love kind of up to date with how you're doing. Because, I mean, like, with our dad, that came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So that could be anybody's father. It could be anybody's mother, brother, sister. But, you know, I think if you could just check in more often, people, you know, we could save situations like that.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Anything to add up there, gents?
It's interesting. Like I work in schools and I run groups specifically around that, and we call it guys group, and it's just about talking.
Yeah.
Like being able to open up in a safe space because as guys, we're not supposed to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's what's, man up, nut up.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
actually, talk.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And we're sitting here doing it on live broadcast or whatever, like that's a powerful thing. And I don't think there's one person at home that can sit there and say, I haven't struggled. Like you said, Andrew, we're all human beings. Like there's nothing, everybody's the same. So that's why I commend you for doing this. It's such a lot, like I've done charity work and stuff, but to have the motivation to do the charity work, you say it's easy because of the situation, but I think it would be complete. I think it would, like you and I, we've had lots of conversations. It's very hard, right? So it's on a different note, not to get away from it, but what was kind of something that you took away from that, both of you guys, after you sat down after that event and you donated the money? Like, what is something that you took away and just cherished yourself from that experience?
For me, it was just like bringing everyone together and all the positive feedback we got from it. Like just interacting with people at the event and then afterwards was like, wow, like this was something bigger than what I thought would come out of it. So just the feedback and what others had to say about how they felt about it, that was the big thing for me. Like it was just spreading from what happened to us and making an explosion onto everyone else. So
yeah, I agree. For me, I think it was really cool that we had a bunch of people from gyms across the Maritimes, and there wasn't, you see them at competitions, but it's a little different because everybody, the testosterone's kind of going that day, and you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was kind of good to have everybody in one gym and just kind of chill, hang out. Like if you want to roll. If you want to just hang out. No pressure to actually train, but just show up and try to have a good time, meet new people, connect. I think it was awesome, man.
I agree. Were you there, Jay?
No, I didn't get to make it down, but I wish I would have.
Yeah, it was an incredible day. Those are my favorite kind of days, to be honest, because it's so relaxing. Like for me, there's not competition. I'd be the guy in the corner, scared to death. You guys know that. But those kind of days are perfect, and you see everybody, and everybody's happy. Shout out to Forza for hosting it, obviously, with you guys. And
big thank you to Peter and Graham, because their support for us has been unbelievable. Yeah, we had basically our whole gym show up to our father's funeral. They shut the gym down for the day and stuff. Peter and Graham are awesome, man. They're awesome people. They work they're two of the hardest workers that I've ever met. Yeah, and man, it was really cool for them to let us use the spot.
Yeah, the gym looked really nice too. Really nice that day. You guys spent a lot of time taking all the bags. Thanks. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've been in a club, apparently. What are these mats you speak of here?
Yeah, we did ran in and did that the night before and did a few things, but Peter and Graham always keep the gym immaculate anyway, so there wasn't a whole lot of cleaning up to do. It was just ready.
Yeah, that's never a guy I want to run into in a dark alley. Shout out to Peter Seamus, legit one of the most dangerous men on earth. For real. Anybody that's Peter, I remember at any of the tournaments, he would never there'd be people all worked up or whatever. Peter he's just always sitting up by the stands by himself, a total complete martial artist, relaxed, I love Peter, man. I got a lot of respect for that guy. He's done a lot for Muay Thai and Canadian martial arts through the years too. He doesn't get a lot of respect for it too. So yeah, he's a good guy. What's the summer look like for you, gentlemen, other than this situation?
Not a whole lot. I'm working 2 hours away, so I spend 4 hours of every day traveling to and from work. So
where?
Sheet Harbor.
Oh, sir.
Yeah, we're doing wiring a primary to 12 school down there. I've been down there for a year already. So
wow, that's dedication. Good
Yeah.
for you.
Long days, but it's going to come to an end at the end of this year. But other than that, I just want to, I guess, take some of this time off from the gym that we have and do some fishing and relaxing. It's going to be most of it. So
Nice. Good for you. And Andrew, you're for anybody who isn't aware, you work at a jail. Am I correct? I know.
Yeah.
Corrections.
Yeah, I work at Atlantic Institution in Renews,
Oh,
like northern New Brunswick, kind of.
yeah.
So,
Away a
federal
lot.
bed, it's a max. It's like a hour and a half or so from Moncton.
It's
But
up like near Miramichi, eh?
yeah, about 30 minutes from the, like the small town of Miramichi or whatever.
That's funny because actually, Andrew, you and I spoke about because you were wondering about training in Miramichi at one time.
Yeah.
It seemed good. But remember, I told you a buddy of mine, he owns a shop actually in Miramichi. This is him. This is the guy who actually owns the shop.
Oh, fucking right.
We'll have to put you guys in touch. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a small world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Anthony Frazier. How you doing, man? You said hello or hey. We'll say hey back.
What's up?
It's crazy, man. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but you guys are both super talented. I know you're big fans of Kent Peters too, and his instructionals. Have you been following his stuff a little bit lately? Still?
always, yeah. Kent's big for me. Like
Yeah.
as far as studying online goes, I got Kent, Gio, and Boogie. That's pretty much as far as I go.
Who is it?
Kent, Gio, and Boogie Martinez.
Those are good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top three. So
Those, definitely good ones. Andrew, you?
Man, to be honest, I kind of been slacking in the studying department, just with not being at the gym, kind of, and not really having like the date when everything's going to be open again. I'm having a tough time like getting motivated, and you know what I mean. But I
Definitely
I like to look at a lot of Lachlan Giles.
Nice.
I'm trying to like play around with some of his X guard stuff, single leg X and X, and
You bad dude.
That
Yeah.
K guard is
yeah, he's sick, man.
It's
I
fun.
got
sorry.
his half guard anthology off of BJJ Fanatics, and I mean, there's a ton of hours to dissect through that, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's a savage.
Yeah.
You gonna say something there, gents?
Good.
Anybody who's just joined us again, this is the brothers of Grapplers versus Violence. Say it again. How is it?
Bo
Lee. Oh, see, that's where I'm getting Beaulieu. It's Beaulieu.
Yeah.
Beaulieu.
If you want
Andrew
to say it,
Brandon Beaulieu.
like, yeah.
Beaulieu. Terrible. Worst.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we're all being safe, Anthony. We're here. We're social distancing. 5 different households.
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
Mhm.
But are you excited about things opening up here? What have you been ordering takeout at all, boys? You're kind of here with me in the city a little bit sometimes, and there's a lot of really good food. Have you been enjoying it?
oh yeah, me and my girlfriend usually we'll get takeout at least once a week. It turns into 2 most times. But yeah, our favorite Indian spot in Halifax just started delivering because COVID. Normally we'd have to go pick it up, like 20-minute drive, but they'll deliver right to our place now. So it's kind of nice that way.
nice.
It's not Daba, is it?
No, Tawa.
I'll have to try that. That's good to know. We always use Daba, but I'm gonna. Where's that one at?
It's right on Lower Water Street, right in like in the same building the Keats Brewery is. It's a little spot, but it's the best find, guaranteed.
Nice. I love it.
COVID quarantine is definitely convenient for things like that, and dangerous as well, where you can have, anything basically delivered, and
Mhm.
it's good but bad.
7 pizzas, an ounce of weed, please, and Netflix for a month. Right?
And you're
Pretty much.
set.
Yeah, you're set exactly.
Man, have you
Boy.
watched that Ozark series?
Yeah,
No.
good.
Man, it's dope.
What's it about?
Yeah.
It's like this businessman basically, and I'm gonna spoiler alert. He like launders money for this cartel guy, and then gets in a little too deep, and then it kind of goes from there. It starts off a little bit slow, but I just finished the first season, and it's been dope.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a guy that does this kind of stuff, like these podcasts. His name's Pop Alternative or Pop Alternative, and I was talking to him, and he has a lot of like musical guests and TV guests, and he had like the whole cast of that TV show on last week, I think. So maybe we can get them on, and we can get you guys back on to talk about it with them.
So like Jason Bateman, is that Ozark? Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably can't get Jason Bateman on. I don't think.
Why not?
Yeah, that's right.
Take a shot.
Yeah, let's all say Jason Bateman sucks at the same time, and then we'll tweet it out and see if we can respond.
Yeah.
I actually think he's great. He's a fantastic actor.
It's weird to I'm used to seeing him in like comedies and stuff, and it's weird to like see him take on the role that he does in Ozark. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's usually like in like those like kind of family comedies or like whatever. But yeah, he's really good at it. Ozark.
What was he? Oh, sorry, Jason.
Oh, I was just picturing him from Arrested Development.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Was he not in Family Ties as kids? Like, as when we were kids, I thought he was in like he was the kid in Family Ties, wasn't he? That's how he like became famous.
I don't know.
Maybe.
You know the show Family Ties?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking. All right, I gotta check this out here. Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Joe.
I think you're right. It actually came up pretty.
Okay, I'll do that, Joe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think he was on it.
I remember DiCaprio was on Growing Pains.
Yeah, he was 13 years old on the set of Family
Oh,
Ties.
Evan's already got it. There you go.
Oh wow.
You got it up there. Family Ties picture.
Yeah, he was 13. He's like a little kid.
Yeah, there we go. Alex, I think his name was. Look at him.
Yeah, sorry, I'm like leaning in because I can't see. Too old.
Say that's Michael J. Fox.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's Big Fox.
That kid right there. See that other picture with the yellow,
yeah,
the
there
red?
he Here.
No, up top, above that.
Oh, this
little
kid.
guy, or that guy. Yeah, that's him.
Wow.
Horrible boss. Okay, but that's his horrible boss. That's from Family Ties. Here it is. What? No, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I made all this up.
No, he's in it. He's in it. I think you're in the wrong like picture scene or something. But he's definitely in it.
Did it say that was his sister? Like
Anyway,
the
let's
girl
get
who-
I don't know.
His sister and him were in
Oh, okay.
in Family Ties, I guess. Yeah, I'm not a Family Ties expert or anything, but
Apparently, I'm not either. No, Jesus, that was terrible. Anyway, that was all started from Ozark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A wormhole.
Yeah.
Anthony Frazier. What is our favorite UCW match? I don't know.
I liked.
I don't know. Those guys that were just on are the UCW Tag Team Champions. So their match with the ladder, I would have to say, was
with the bias there. The bias.
The Bice, yeah.
The Bice.
Do you guys see that, Andrew and Brandon? Their characters are the Bice. The guys. Oh, and they come out in like the fishing gear from Newfoundland, and they got the oar and shit. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny, man. So, but for not to change the mood here too much, boys, but Andrew, you said about jiu-jitsu, like for anybody who's just joining, these guys are pretty involved in jiu-jitsu. I've known them for a long, long time. Why did you take that step? Like, why did you both finally take the step? Like, you're both athletic guys. You're probably involved in lots of sports your whole life. A lot of people that are in jiu-jitsu are like that, come from other sports. Why did you finally take it? Like, because I know, like, again, I have some mental stuff. Lots of people have mental issues they deal with, and it really, really, it's an incredible thing that it changes you. Why did you take the step, boys?
I played basketball like my whole life.
Nice.
I was always interested in like boxing and stuff, but I never took the time to really train. I was just always training for basketball and whatnot. Fast forward a few years after high school, I went to Mount A. I was playing basketball there. I only lasted like 3 months, and I started that's kind of when mental health kind of went down for me. And from there, like when I dropped out of university, I spent probably like the next year and a half or 2 years pretty much in bed, like, I don't know, 20 hours a day or something like that, just doing nothing. And I don't know, I just kind of felt desperate, man, to be honest. And I remember the first day that I finally said, all right, I'm just going to go. I was like throwing up in the bathroom, like just terrified, man. I started with Muay Thai. So I did Muay Thai for like a year or so. And then you're familiar with Giuliano?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so he was always at the gym, and like his personality was great, right? So he was always like super friendly, and he was begging me to try jiu-jitsu. And I hated it, man. I absolutely hated it. I hated the gi. Thought it sucked. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
But eventually I competed at one of your tournaments, I think was my first. And after that, man, I loved it.
Nice.
Since then, I haven't stopped training.
Cool. Yeah, it's interesting, man. Like it sucks you, like you get sucked into the jiu-jitsu, man. Like whether it's whether you're getting your ass choked out or you know, like for me, like if I get tapped out, like I don't think like, oh, how did I necessarily get tapped out and how do I improve? I'm just like, I'm gonna get that guy back. That's the way I am, right? Like, and
yeah.
So what about you, Brandon? Like, what were you into the comp, like the striking as well?
Yeah, like it wasn't even a thought that crossed my mind joining like a combat sport or martial arts or whatever. But Andrew took the first step, and I think he started like 6 months before I did, and he kept telling me like, come, like do this, do that.
Mm-hmm.
I played hockey my whole life or whatever, and then once I was too old to play junior, I was like, okay, I kind of need to do something so I don't blow up. So he dragged me there, and it was the same thing. I did Muay Thai. I started with that, and I did that for like 3 months. And then once I went and watched him compete, is the first jiu-jitsu tournament I watched, and it was one of your events in Truro. And watching that, I was like, I need to do this. Like, I need to get forward here. So ever since then, it's been nonstop.
Cool. That's the thing, man. I tell people all the time, you have absolutely no idea the effect you have on people, whether it's one person or a million. Like the things you say, the way you act, how you hold yourself, like it really can change someone's life. And that makes me so happy to hear that you went to that tournament, both of you guys, and you both got each other, you know, your brothers, you've been through really hard times, and it's something that you can bond together for the rest of your life and have in common. That's always going to keep you like this. And I'm jealous because I don't have that with my brothers, right? And I look at people that are really close with their brothers, and I think it's a wonderful thing.
I think jiu-jitsu for sure has brought us closer. Like it's like basically all we talk about now. We're training. Every time we train, we're rolling together, drilling together, shooting ideas off each other. So yeah, it's been really cool, man. Heel
hooking one another.
That's
great. He does it to me, man. He attacks my feet all the time. I can't stop him.
Yeah. Have you rolled against these guys, Jason, at all?
I don't think.
A little heavier than you.
Yeah.
I'm usually down like 145.
Yeah, I'm like 160 depending on what I've been doing for the last couple months. But
yeah,
what do you weigh? Like 150 or what?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Pass between 145 and 150.
Yeah.
You say usually or now?
Right now, this morning, I was 151.
Oh, that's nothing, man. You're good.
225.
You're
No, I'm not 225. I usually walk around at like 157, 8, not quite 160. That's I stay there comfortably, like no problem.
Yeah, well, I guess I'd probably be the heaviest guy here. So, well, I guess we'll continue on then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird world, boys, but I think we are going to come out of this. I think everything's going to get back to normal here. You know, whether they say June 5th, the gym's open. I know people that are training. I'm sure you guys know people that are training. It's not going to stop us from training. Like, if we have to train in the parks, if we have to train in people's basements, it is what it is, man. But, like, I don't want to sound like a dick, but I think I'm going to. But I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated with it. I really am. Like, It needs it needs to end. And it is ending, but I just don't know if again, I said it before, will stage 5 for us by the time we're open, will the second wave be here?
That's right.
That's what my concern is, right? I don't know why I do that diagram when I do that. It's but
Really helps.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully we get out of it, boys. And but I want to thank you for joining us so much. And before we get going, is there any advice that you guys can give to anybody, man? Like, we talk a lot, Andrew. We haven't been talking as much as we used to, but man, it's just a random message back and forth, a quick, hey, like that person is thinking about me. Like, any advice, man, for people that, to overcome, like you guys overcame with class and held yourselves high and really did a great thing. So if anybody's thinking about doing the same, how do they do it?
Andrew?
I think, man, just be honest with yourself. Like, if you notice that you're starting to like have bad habits, you're staying in bed a little bit more than you usually do. You know what I mean? Your diet's going to shit. Like, you're not exercising. You're being distant from people. Like, these are all signs. You know what I mean? Like, something's not going well. So like, be able to look into the mirror and be like, yo, like, you got to try to make some changes here. Because, I always say there's two sides to mental health. There's the medication and a psychiatrist, right? That's their profession. They're going to help you out however they can, right? But I think people always try to either be like, there's two teams. There's either the meds are going to fix me, or no, meds don't work. You have to just fucking go and sweat, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's a bit of both, man. Like, I've gone to psychiatrists and been like super frustrated with like the way that they were dealing with me. And I'm to be honest, just mad in general. But you have to, like I said before, you have to be willing to look in the mirror and be like, hey, but what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what decisions are you making? So you have to not put all of your eggs in one basket. Like, be honest, do what you can. And, I don't know. Try not to be too hard on yourself. I'm terrible at that, but.
Yeah, but you're talking about it too, man. Yeah. Like, it's incredibly important, man. Like, we're sitting here talking about it. Like, then after 10 minutes or 30 minutes after this is like, everyone at home may forget about it or whatever, but everyone here will probably a half hour from now will be like, oh, that was a really fun, great conversation. It made my day better.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the most important, powerful message that we can get across to anybody when it comes to mental health. Like you say, like, pills, whatever. I was on them too forever. But man, exercise is so important too. Doing your part, like you said.
Well, man, just like think about like how you feel when you're training consistently, and then compare to how you feel now in quarantine and not being able to do shit. Like, it's night and day, man.
Yeah. Really is. Yeah. How about you, Brandon? Any advice?
For me, it's a little different because I've never suffered from like depression or any other mental illness. I'm the fortunate one in my family. I'm the only one.
Nice. So good for you.
For me, it's a little different. Like, obviously I mourn, and there's good days and there's bad days. And Andrew always says, like, it's okay to not be okay. Like, you're going to have those days. And then it's a mental thing of how you're going to come out of it. Like, for me, it was more of like, okay, like, this is the hand I was dealt. I can't pick it and I can't return it and get a new set. Like, I just need to move forward with it and make the best of it, of what I can. Like, it's just one day at a time, keep moving forward and keep being positive and trying to be positive. And of course I have shitty days where I'm pissed off and I'm crying and whatever, that happens. But every day I just try and keep taking one more step up the steps. Like, that's how I deal with things, and that's how I look at it. So
yeah. Win that marathon.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, with that, folks, that's pretty powerful shit right there. So with that being said, I don't think much more needs to be said. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. Grapplers versus Violence on Instagram. Are you on Facebook as well, gents?
Yeah.
There you go. So where can they can find you? I guess I should ask you guys that.
Yeah, just Instagram, Grapplers Against Violence, Facebook, Grapplers Against Violence. What's your Instagram, Brennan?
Beaulieu 15. You probably won't be able to spell it, so
Yeah.
Or say it.
might show up.
Grapplers Against Violence. That's kind of, to be honest, like for anybody who's just gonna follow right now, there hasn't been much content lately. Like there just hasn't been. But
That's okay though, man. It's
you know what I mean?
it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's right, man. Fuck it is right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's there. Get out there and follow. Is this how's this, boys? Is this right?
Yeah.
Against rather than verse.
Oh yeah, geez.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take that down.
All good, man.
See if we can replace it right quick. Grapplers Against Violence. This is all done here by the left and right hand, folks.
Nice. That'll
There
do,
you
man.
go. So you can give them a follow on Instagram and all the social media, folks. Wonderful, wonderful guys, and we've always promised to get out and have a beer. We've never done it and a bite to eat, and we got to get to do that after this is over.
Definitely.
Sure, man.
Okay, boys. Well, lots of love to you. And we'll talk to you very soon. There you have it, folks. The founders, the owners, and the men behind Grapplers Against Violence. Thanks again for joining us, gentlemen.
Take care, guys.
Take care, fellas.
All right, lots
Yeah.
of love. That was awesome. What great guys, man. Inspirational stuff. I love those guys. I really do from the very beginning. Then they
Pretty
started
powerful stuff for sure.
It really is, man.
Obviously, already helped a lot of people, I'm sure, with their awareness, and will continue to do so. So it's a admirable thing to do.
They're having those conversations, right? Which is huge because, like they said, as guys, we're not supposed to have those conversations, supposedly.
Yeah.
So
No, it's nice. And I think it's cool because you have the two different aspects there, like they can support one another, man. Like support is so huge, right? And to go through that and have grappling and all this I think it's very commendable. And, they're not only that, we didn't get to talk about their jiu-jitsu. Both of them are actually really talented grapplers too. So hopefully we can see them maybe if we do some events, Jay, or something like that. I know they're both love the no-gi stuff, so maybe we can get them on a match or something. But just a side note there, Jason Bateman wasn't on Family Ties, just his sister, Justine. Just so we clear the air, so we don't get a bunch of hate comments. Man,
I was wrong.
Was that you?
I am the odd time.
Did you start that?
No, you started it. I confirmed it, but
I'm blaming it on you. I'm blaming.
So it was only Justina's sister. So
Kenny Beaton, what's up? The king of the cake yard, Kenny Beaton, the man with the nicest hair in Antigonish, guaranteed.
The John Stamos lookalike.
He really is, man. He's a really good-looking man. He really is. He's like, do you know anybody who doesn't know who John Stamos is from Full House? Uncle Jesse. That's what Ken Beaton looks like, about just skinnier, really, right, like skinnier. But who's Uncle Joey then? Can't be
that
Dylan.
guy's name.
Dylan doesn't look like Uncle Joey.
I don't think we got a Joey.
No. I don't know. Hell yeah. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen Shy Awkward Guy on Instagram?
I have.
No.
Hilarious.
You got to check this guy out. He is hilarious. Hell yeah.
It's like just his mannerisms and how he kind of does his deal is funny. Like doesn't say a whole lot, I guess, but it's so funny how he
does. See if I can find him, Jason.
Ken Beaton saying he put on 15, so he's not skinny right now.
No.
You chubby bastard.
No, he didn't.
Sounds like it.
More people to squish me. It's funny when the Sabotage guys were on. It was making me think of the time that you put me in the Boston Crab when we were rolling.
Did I?
Yeah, I was just a white belt, and you were just
Whoops.
you were going off, and
Going
somehow you ended up getting me into the Boston Crab.
Boston Crab.
No, man, I didn't do
An interesting move to bring out.
probably didn't do it on purpose, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. It was effective.
Let's see if
There's
we
the Shine Awkward Guy right there. He is funny. He's on, I think, primarily Instagram.
Yeah. I guess we can go Instagram, can't we?
You're a brave man with that search history there on live TV.
Yeah. XX. Let's see. Shy, awkward guy. Where is he? There he is.
He's there.
You guys see this? Yeah, you guys can see this. I don't know if you can hear it.
I don't think we can hear it, but it's definitely worth checking out. So it's a laugh for sure.
Yeah, anyway, shy and awkward guy on Instagram, folks. A hell of a funny guy to follow. Pretty funny laugh. Anyway, boys, let's do it here. A great episode, folks. Thanks for everybody tuning in. We appreciate it. Victor Summers, that's not true.
It was probably about the Bateman thing.
Yeah, he's probably right there. Yeah,
Calling us out.
there could be other things that aren't true on here too, but
Yeah.
it is
It's all on the fly.
That's right, man. If you just Google it, I guess. If not, we have a gift to give out here tonight, folks. One of our friends here at Team NVI Sport. Look, this is a real life boomerang. Look at that. Who the hell needs applications? Check this out. So NVI Sport, it's pre-workout coffee endurance. Okay, these are really, really great guys. They're a very good supporter of our promotion. You can find them on Amazon. And yeah, there you go. There's the ingredients, and it will make you on fire. It will make you feel really good, fired up, pretty much unstoppable. So make sure you get some of this. Jason, you've had some. What do you think?
I haven't had some.
Oh, well, you're supposed to go along with it, man.
Oh,
I enjoyed it. I have a cup
You
every
enjoyed
morning.
oops.
Rookie, man. You're such a rookie.
It's
I
great
got up this
stuff.
morning. I'm still firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, there you go. Evan had one today. So it's coffee with pre-workout in it. And Justin McKenzie, you're going home with a box tonight. Justin McKenzie from SOB MMA in Cape Breton. We'll send you a box of this in the mail. You can try it. Make sure you give them a follow, give them a review, and have a great workout. Justin McKenzie, this will be in the mail to you from our friends at Team NBR Sport. All right, folks, let's get out of here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Jason, thanks for joining us, man. Actually,
thanks for having me on.
We didn't really talk right before we do get going.
Sure.
For anybody who isn't aware, you're a community outreach worker. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that correct? In the education system.
Yeah.
So how's things for you lately?
They've been interesting. So
Yeah.
I do a lot of programming while I'm in schools. So we kind of talked about one with like the guys group thing there. So that's for anybody that identifies as male that may want to have these conversations that, we're not necessarily having, right? Or the school might identify as some youth that might want to have those conversations. But right now I'm not doing any programming because, we're all home. So it's been interesting. I've been trying to, kind of keep in contact with some of the students that I've been working with, but it's hard, right? Like they're home. They have stuff that they rather be doing than talking to me. So you know what I mean? Like, so sometimes it's great. We can connect. Sometimes we can't. So right now it's one of those spots where it's kind of, everything's up in the air, right? So, but it gives me a little bit of a chance to do my own homework and my own schoolwork and stuff like that, because I tripled up on my courses for the summer. So
good. Well, we need smart people like you, man. And shout out to Tricrow Studios as well. That's a big thing for you, Jason. You do a lot of reviews.
Thank you.
Music reviews, and you can tell us what's the page all about.
Yeah, so it's a YouTube page, Tricrow Studios. It's myself and my brothers. We review different music gear, recording gear. I'm a bass player. That's my thing.
Nice.
That's actually how I met Matt Connors. way back when, back in high
That's
school.
right. Yeah, that's right. You were on there. I guess people are probably wondering why Jason on here, but you're a friend of Matt Connors, the wrestler.
Yeah. So we just kind of decided we're all gearheads. Most musicians are a bit of gearheads. So I'm a bass player and do kind of all the bass gear, and my brothers are guitar players, and best friends really into the studio gear. So we kind of just get different gear, review it, talk about it.
Nice. That's cool.
There you go.
I'll have to check that out myself. I haven't.
That's it. Is that right, AJ? That's it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Trico Studios. Give them a follow there, folks. Yeah, you do a lot of cool stuff. I can't keep the beat, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how. I'm so impressed with anybody who's like legit playing the music, singing the song, and tapping the pedals and doing this. I'm like, what? How can you do all this at the same time?
But you know what? It's funny, and I've had this conversation with Haley of how close music is to jiu-jitsu.
Interesting.
It's not something you would really think of, but kind of the art form aspect of it.
Yeah.
Once you kind of learn your basics, you start flowing a little bit more. Then you start picking up a little bit more technique.
Mm-hmm.
Same with music. You learn your basics, you start playing a little bit. You play with other people, you learn a little bit more, and you start flowing a little bit more, right?
Yeah. Very cool. Interesting. Well, we'll have to dive into that again sometime, man. Maybe we'll get you back on an episode, and we'll get yourself and your brother, and we'll do like a Tricro episode or something. Break down some music with Evan.
Yeah, that'd be
we
great.
got to get some jams going on here, folks. We got to get some musicians on here, and maybe we'll get you guys and Mike McGrath and Ashley and Haley and everybody on here. We can have a good East Coast jam.
Get Danny on here playing.
Yeah, Danny too. Jeez, forgot about him. Yeah, no, that's true. Man. That's a good idea. Let's do it. All right, boys. Well, thanks for joining us, folks. Anybody out there, lots of love to you guys at home. Hope everybody's killing it and safe and sound and being nice to one another. We'll be back tomorrow night with another episode. Episode 63, folks, is in the books with my partners down below, Jason Delorey, fantastic guy, and to my right over here, my partner in crime, Evan English. As always, folks, lots of love. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, man.
And once again, thank you to our sponsors,